Coming up and coming at you on the Abington Sports Network. It's been quite an impressive first half of sports here at Abington, and we are remembering the best moments thus far. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Welcome back, sports fans, to the 2015 version of the Abington Sports Network. David Brody here, joined by my partner in crime, Jim Rossi. And Jim, it has actually been 10 years since the last episode of the Abington Sports Network, but 10 years later, we're still rocking and rolling. We have a great episode upon us today, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Hard to believe it's been 10 years, but I'm telling you, we haven't missed a beat. We've got a great episode. Eddie George, the Eddie George, is in the Rosenberger's Fruit Punch hot seat today. We're not going to waste any time. Let's get right to it.
Thanks for joining us today, Eddie. Jim and I have our 10-year high school reunion coming up, and we heard that you had a great time at yours. But before we get into that, it says here that you missed out on your 5-year reunion, and we're curious, didn't you feel like you missed out? How did you feel afterwards?
Oh boy, devastated.
Well, we did some digging, and it looks like you held out of your reunion because you weren't selected to be a part of the planning committee.
You did your homework.
Thanks. Well, it seems that you butted heads with class president Bill Walton.
You know, at that time I wasn't happy about it, obviously, at all. It was, once again, it was difficult. But I respected the fact that Bill knew exactly what he wanted in his team. Unfortunately, I wasn't a part of that vision. That's what I took from it. And it's okay.
So you got over it later that night?
I just laid down and cried myself to sleep.
Oh. Well,
Why don't we jump ahead 5 years? Eddie, I'm sure you were anxious to get back on it and check out your 10-year reunion, right?
My blood temperature or my blood pressure started to rise. I mean, I said, okay. I said, all right, here we go again. Here we go once again. Gotta prove myself.
because, you know, you didn't want to fumble a big opportunity, right?
Great choice of words.
Thanks.
So did Bill let you in on the planning committee this time?
It was ironic. The very guy that I absolutely hated, who tormented me, was the same guy that opened the door to all of my dreams.
So you ended up going and really loving it.
Great times, great people, great memories.
I mean, that's great to hear. You know, we've heard that some of our classmates are thinking about skipping out on their 10-year reunion. Do you think that they'd regret it?
You really have to take advantage of that. So that's the one thing that I learned, and now I can go back and I can say, okay, this happened to me. It didn't end the way I wanted it to, but I can use this story to help somebody else out.
Fantastic. Hey, Eddie, before we wrap up, Jim and I heard that you were a big fan of the ASM program at Abington High School.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
And do you happen to remember the two guys that started it?
They were very, very talented, extremely smart, sharp, witty, funny, charismatic. I mean, they had all of the mannerisms of a grown man, but yet they were still kids, and I admired that.
And did you know that those two kids grew up to be us?
Thank you for that information. I had no idea.
No idea. I mean, when you sat down, you did look at me like you kind of knew me.
And that's what I was like, oh my God.
Why didn't you say anything?
I didn't know what way. I was just like, everything's going like all at once.
But you enjoy our work.
It's a different level of respect. It is a different level.
Oh man, Eddie George loves our show. I'm the man.
The part of being a man and becoming a man is learning to be humble. It's humility.
All right, well, Eddie, any closing advice for our classmates who are on the fence about attending the reunion?
I have friends that have gone on to be successful in the business world, like Kevin Plank. We were here together. And I have friends that are 6 feet deep, you know. But my bit of advice for kids is to give it a try.
Okay. Well, Eddie, thank you for your time today, and appreciate you sharing your story with us.
Wow, Dave, great interview, very insightful. A big thank you to Eddie George for sitting down with us in the Rosenberger's Fruit Punch hot seat. Making his 10-year reunion, that made a big difference for Eddie George, and hopefully you can all join us at your 10-year reunion. It's going to be on Saturday, June the 13th at the Wet Whistle in Abington. It starts at 8 o'clock. Tickets are $60. They include food, drink, and unlimited dancing. So Dave, you're going to be there?
I will be there, and I hope to see all of you there. And everyone, thank you for joining us today. For Jim Rossi, I am David Brody. See you at June 13th, on June 13th, at the Wet Whistle in Abington. Take care, everyone. We'll make one of those work.
One of those will work.
One of those will work.
Okay, whatever.